Welcome to Catch These Vibes. My name is Nique, and this is episode 262. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are doing visuals, and I look cute as fuck. Check me out. So yeah, as usual, if you want to watch the visuals, you can go to Spotify. And I know I keep repeating myself, but I do plan on putting the visuals on YouTube at some point in time. When that's gonna be, I don't know. But yeah, I need to do that so that you guys have more ways to watch it and not just on Spotify. But yeah, so for this episode, we are going to get into Scream. We're going to talk about Scream. I definitely want to get into the SAG Awards that are now called the Actor Awards. Michael B. Jordan won, so we definitely got to get into that. And also, I saw Crime 101 with the fam, so we can talk about that a little bit as well. But mainly, we're gonna be getting into Scream. I don't know if we're gonna make it to an hour, maybe 30. Who knows? I might start yapping, and we might get to an hour. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Scream. We're just gonna talk about Scream first. I do want to show this cute cup that my mom had made. She does make a lot of customized merch, so shirts. She does candles, soaps, a lot of different things. Okay, she has taught herself over the years how to make different things, and so she knows how much I love the Scream movie. So she always makes me ghost face little things, and this is a cup that she made for me. My ghost face cup is really, really, really adorable. I love it. So I wanted to show you guys that. Also, since we're talking about it, here's another cup that she made me. Hold on, let me grab it. She made this for my birthday, Aquarius. So you guys could check her out if you guys want to, take a look. Butterfly Prints on all platforms, and that's Buddha Fly Prints. Um, so yeah, but I really wanted to show you guys just the ghost face cup since we're going to be talking about Scream. So I did see Scream on Friday night, and I really, really enjoyed it. So Scream 7. I honestly, so I made an episode. I did an episode and it came out in October 2022. And that was the Scream movie. That was the Scream movie episode where I talked about Scream, all the screams and all the everything, all the details about the Scream. So check out that episode. I think it's a really good episode and very informative. But I thought that I did a ranking on that episode, and maybe I did, but because I just skimmed through it, I didn't really want to listen to it all the way through because I wanted to get ready to perform, to record, not perform. I wanted to get ready to record this episode, but I wanted to see if I could find how I ranked the movies previously, but I couldn't find it. So, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Now that we are 7 movies in, ranking these movies is very difficult. Like I was really thinking about it, and I can't really. I don't know. I seriously don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to really rank it. I'm gonna always put the OG Scream at number one. That's always gonna be number one. But after that, I have a difficult time. I'm not gonna even lie. So I'm choosing not to rank them right now. I can definitely tell you, what are my favorite things about each movie, or whatever critiques I may have about each of them. But right now, at this point in time, ranking them is difficult because I just love this franchise so much. And since 7 was so good, it's like, man, I honestly don't know how I want to rank them. But maybe I'll figure it out one day. But right now, at this time, I don't want to force a ranking. I don't want to just. I want to feel good about it. I don't want to question it at all. Obviously, I understand that it can change over time, but I can't even do it. All right, so Scream 7. Let me pull it up on IMDb really quick. All the details, because we have some new characters added to the bunch. And also, I do want to say that the last Scream movie I saw 3 times. So I want to see this one again because I only seen it once so far. And I feel like a second time around, I would have like a better I'll have more thorough thoughts about it, because I think that once you see a movie, it's good to watch it more than once, to like really confidently speak on how you feel about it. But I haven't been able to watch it again. So it is what it is. I'm going to give you guys my best summary of like how I really feel about it, the best that I can. So obviously Kevin Williamson, he wrote and directed this one, um, alongside James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. He was also a writer on the Scream in 2022. So the directors and writers from the last 2 movies were James Vanderbilt and the directors actually, Matt Bettinelli Open and Tyler Gillette. They were the last 2 who also are responsible for Ready or Not. But yeah, so let me go to the new characters on this one. So we have Tatum, played by Isabel May. So Tatum is Sydney's daughter. In this movie, we're finally getting to meet her daughter, who she named after her best friend from the first movie, Tatum, played by Rose McGowan. So Mindy, the twins, Mindy and Chad, they're back, played by Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding. And then we have Anna Camp. She plays Jessica, who's Sydney's neighbor. We have Celeste O'Connor. She is Chloe Parker, and she is one of Tatum's friends. And then we have McKenna Grace. She plays one of Tatum's friends as well. Ethan Embry. He's Marco, who you might know from Sweet Home Alabama, Disturbing Behavior. I feel like there's other stuff that he's more known for. Hold on, I gotta look because I don't even. He's more known for. Oh yeah, he was in it, Grey's Anatomy, but he was only on 1 episode. He's been on a lot of shows. Yep, he sure was on Vacancy. He was in that movie Vacancy that came out in 2007. He's just a real familiar face, honestly. I don't know why I thought he was in that's the movie. Can't Hardly Wait. Yes, that's the movie. So he was the main character in Can't Hardly Wait. He played Preston. Just in case y'all needed a visual for who that is. So, Scream 7. How did I feel about it? What did I like about it? What did I dislike about it? Well, I feel like it was a great movie overall. I feel like it was funny. There was some jump scare moments. The kills were pretty great and needed to be what they needed to be. Like they were what they needed to be. The kills were on point for sure. And I honestly don't have any complaints. I mean, the only thing that I would say is like a weak point in the movie for me is probably the ghost face reveal. I wasn't really crazy about it, especially the explanation of this person, why they were Ghostface, why they wanted to kill Sydney. It just was kind of like a weak reveal, a weak reason. It was just, you know, But other than that, I really don't have any complaints about the movie for real. So I think that a lot of people have an opinion on Sarah. Why do I always say Sarah? It's Tara. I keep putting Tara and Sam together and saying Sarah. Tara and Sam. People have an opinion about them not being no longer a part of the franchise. Who knows if something could work out in the future and they'll come back? I think that would be cool. But if not, then also it's fine. I think the two movies that they were in, their characters served their purpose. But a lot of people have opinions on them not being in this movie or no longer being a part of the franchise. People want to talk about who who's better, them, Sam or Sydney. And I feel like I like both of them. Obviously, I like the original, the OG Final Girl, Sydney. But I also liked Sam. Like, I didn't have any issues with Sam. I thought her character was well done as far as, her being Billy Loomis's daughter and the whole story with her family and how she found out about it, and then the whole her like possibly taking after him. Like, I feel like that's something that they probably could still explore if they wanted to, if Kevin Williamson wanted to. So I never had any problems with them introducing Sam. It was definitely something to get used to. So the number five, at the when I seen, I remember when I watched number five, I felt a little underwhelmed by it. But I think I kind of just needed to get used to this whole new cast of people. Um, because by the time that six came out, I loved it. Like, I feel like I loved number six more than I loved five. And I don't know if that had anything to do with just me adjusting at that time. By that time, I was well adjusted to who these new characters were. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I felt like six was a better movie than five. I don't know. I Regardless of which one I felt was better, I eventually was like, after watching the movies, I wasn't mad at it. Like, I wasn't mad at Tara being a part of the story and Sam being a part of the story, and I didn't feel like we need Sydney back. Like, I didn't want to go and protest about it. I know people feel away because of the way it happened. That I've heard different things. Like, I heard that she was fired due to certain things, and then I heard that she only signed a two-movie contract, and I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I think that Melissa Barrera was great as Sam, and Jenna Ortega was great as Tara, and I loved them. I love them. Also, I feel like it was so necessary to have them in five and six because it helped this franchise continue. Because imagine if we didn't have them, in five and six, and it was just Sydney and Gail, and like it just, I feel like we 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 would have had to most likely meet Sydney's family sooner, and I just feel like it was done the right way. So it could leave room for us to get to this point where we're about to get number eight and continue on with the story with Sydney's story, or if whoever or her daughter Tatum. It gives us that room to really like grow upon that idea, that storyline of Sydney and her family, and her daughter, who's potentially going to be the new Sydney, quote unquote. It made it like really give led us up to that point with Sarah with Tara and Sam in five and six. And so that's why I appreciate their stories and the part that they play in the franchise, because I think it was just done the right way. Like, I just feel like it just worked out because now we are really able to grow upon Sydney's story because we weren't because Sydney was playing the background. She wasn't the main character in 5. She wasn't even in 6. So that gives us a lot more room for us to continue to grow with Sydney now that she's in this certain point in time in her life. And so that's why I feel like 5 and 6, the way that they did it is perfect. It worked out. Even though there might be people out there that don't like those just because Sydney is not in it or not as in it as they would like for her to be. I feel like it just helped us Scream lovers to get more movies. Now we can get more movies with Sydney and her daughter. So let's talk about 7 and like Sydney, where she is at this point in time in this particular movie. So Sydney, we get to finally see Sydney's home life. She's married, she has a daughter. I was kind of confused because I thought she had more kids. I could have sworn they said kids like plural, but I guess she only has Tatum because they didn't show any other kids. But I thought that she had more kids. I thought she has some other ones, but I guess not. I don't know. I was a little confused about that after I watched it and I thought about it like, wait, didn't she have some other kids? But yeah, so we see I liked how they did the movie. They showed like how her daughter Tatum was kind of following in Sydney's following behind her and like kind of repeating the things that Sydney did, like having the boyfriend sneaking through the window and uh, the boyfriend was purposefully kind of doing stuff that Billy did. Um, and Sydney already knowing what it is because she experienced it. So she's like, yeah, girl, no, he gotta go. We're not finna play those types of games. Um, so I like seeing that the thing that they did in this movie that I didn't necessarily find issue with, but it was kind of like it was a little annoying. The fact that Sydney didn't want to talk to Tatum about anything. Like she didn't want to talk to Tatum about her past. So Tatum basically she didn't really know much about her mom, like how or her mom's story. Everything that she knew about her mom is because of the stab movies or because maybe stuff that she's read about her. Her mom didn't talk to her. Sydney didn't talk to her about anything. She was trying to protect her, which I understand. Versus, if you've seen the Halloween movies, these last few ones, Lori, she prepared her daughter for everything. She prepared her daughter for everything and wanted to be prepared for the moment that Michael did come back. But that put a strain on her relationship with her daughter because Lori's daughter, I can't think of her name right now, but Lori's daughter felt like her mom was crazy. Like she felt that her mom was crazy and paranoid and just made her life a living hell because of how obsessed she was with the preparation process of when Michael would come back and what they would have to do in order to survive him coming back. So it's definitely interesting to see how that part played out. That played out in Halloween. And I did see something that, that's probably why the writers of Scream 7 or Kevin Williamson, they decided not to go that route because they didn't want it to like kind of mimic what was already done in Halloween, which I that's good because if they did it the exact same way, then that definitely would have been a talking point. People definitely would have been comparing and saying, "Oh, they just copied Halloween, whoop de whoop." So I'm glad they chose to do the opposite. Sydney protected her daughter from all of that. There was no preparation. There was no survival camp going on. Like Sydney, like she shielded her daughter away from all of that as much as possible. But we see that that kind of took a toll on their relationship because Tatum wanted to know, like she wanted to know, like she just wanted to know how college life was. Like there's a part in the movie where Tatum, she tells her mom that she has rehearsal, and Sydney lets her know that she also was in theater in college. And Tatum's like, I didn't know that, like, and you could tell that she was really interested at that point, but Sydney didn't want to get into it because that's a traumatic time for her. That was a traumatic time period for her going, being in college. She didn't have a great experience. So, um, and then there's the part where Tatum puts on her coat, that really nice brown leather coat that she wore in Scream 2. And Tatum doesn't really understand why, Sydney doesn't want her to wear it, or why Sydney was like taken aback by seeing her with it on. She doesn't know because Sydney hasn't told her anything. She hasn't like told her, explained to her, this was a very traumatic time. I really don't like to see things that remind me of that time. If she would have like talked to Tatum about it, then she wouldn't then Tatum wouldn't have been such a brat about everything. Like Tatum just didn't understand what her mom went through because Sydney did not tell her. So I like how they did that though. Even though in the movie, while you're watching the movie, you're like, dang, talk to your daughter. But you understand like why she wasn't like telling her everything, because she was trying to shield her from it and protect her from all of that um trauma. And she definitely, you can tell she just wanted her to grow up without having to experience the same things that she had to experience, which was a bit, it is kind of foolish on Sydney's part, because even though whatever was happening in New York, because she wasn't in New York when all that stuff was going on, that was enough to tell you that, or that was enough to show you that there's potential for this to come to your home life still, and have your family to be in danger, you know. But I think I think the writing was good though, the way that they did it, because now after this movie, Tatum, she experienced what her mom experienced. She had to do basically a crash course in survival 101. She had to learn how to shoot a gun. She had to learn how to do all these things like really quickly because her life depended on it. And so now in Scream 8, I imagine that they're going to have a closer relationship. There's probably still going to bump heads about stuff, but now we're going to see them in a completely different light, because now Tatum experienced what her mom went through. And so now she has a better understanding of why her mom has been so protective and so quiet about her life and her memories and her past. So I'm really interested to see where they take Scream 8 and like what it's going to be about, like, because this one was about Stumacher and if he was alive or not. Now, spoilers, um we have to, I think this was already something that they talked about I've heard about this kind of storyline before, about um the killer being people that Stumacher sent because he was in some mental hospital or something, that maybe he was really still alive, and all these Stumacher has all these followers, and they are the ones that are going to be trying to kill Sydney for revenge or whatever, because Stu sent them or something, or they worship Stu or something like that. So this kind of like took from that idea, and that is what we got pretty much. It was Stumacher, and if he's still alive or not. And if he's still alive, that was one of the big questions that they had to try to figure out and answer throughout this movie. So I like the way that they modernized the movie because it had a lot to do with AI and deep fakes, and that's something that's really popular right now. So I liked that aspect of it. Um, so I guess that goes back to the who the killers were. So Sydney had this neighbor, Jessica, and her son Lucas was really, really obsessed with Sydney. So it kind of made the viewer think, okay, maybe maybe he's going to be a ghost face, which would have been predictable, honestly, a little bit too predictable. Um, we soon find out that it can't possibly be him because he gets killed. So it's like, okay, it wasn't him, but it turns out that it was his mom, the neighbor. I heard critiques, people saying like, oh, she didn't have that much time, that many scenes in the movie. How, like, I feel like that's a stupid critique. I think the only critique for real is, for me, like I said, is the reasoning behind it. She said that Sydney disappeared on her, and so I guess yeah, she said that Sydney disappeared on her, so I guess she wanted to like bring Sydney out of hiding, kind of, or like purposely move next to her so that she can, you know, be next to her, and then kind of make Tatum the new Sydney Prescott, basically. Make her the new final girl, to continue on the legacy. And since Sydney was like, living this regular life and everything. So it pretty much just comes down to these people just being extremely obsessed with the idea of Sydney and Ghostface and the stab movies, like being very, very obsessed with that. But this time it was like, I'm obsessed with Sydney because she was a survivor and she inspired me to be a survivor. But then you just went off and start living a regular life, and I don't like that side of you. I want to continue to see you almost lose your life and have to survive that, because that's what I need to help me survive or help inspire me or whatever. I think that was the gist of her motive and why she decided to do what she did and what made her Ghostface. Um, so that's not really that interesting to me. So hopefully in the next one they are able to create a better Ghostface. But I can imagine that it's getting difficult because they've done, 7 different ways that ghost faces at this point. And so it's just like, what more can you do? What more can you do? But it's also interesting too because this isn't like a Michael Myers or a Jason or a Freddy Krueger where they get killed or supposed to be dead and then they come back to life. This is different where there's people who want to be Ghostface, and it could be anybody. So that's the interesting part about the Scream franchise, is that Ghostface can literally be anybody. And um that's helps them have the opportunity to keep the story going, keep creating and making more movies and making them interesting. So hopefully the next Ghostface will be really, really interesting. Because this one was a little underwhelming for me. I think Gail was really good in this movie. It does suck that we don't have Dewey anymore. I really love them together. My favorite, I don't know, they were just so my favorite. They had a lot of my favorite moments in 1, 2, and 3. And then in 4, they it's well yeah before they, even though that they were married, they still were like bumping heads. And then 5, they no longer were together, and then Dewey died. So 1 through 3 gave me a lot of my favorite moments from them too, especially 2 and 3, because those ones were, they probably had like the most screen time, and especially three, because Sydney wasn't. We didn't really get Sydney until like towards the end of the movie, or the what is it considered, the third act? I don't know, but yeah. So it does suck that Dewey's no longer with us. Um, what else did I want to say about this? Oh, the twins. I love the twins, Mindy and Chad. They their role in this one wasn't big, but you can tell that they are going to play a part of like helping Tatum, or taking Tatum like under their wing in the next one. Like that would be really cute to see that, because they are survivors. They clearly don't want them to die, because they survive every single movie that they've been in, even though they do get attacked. And I don't want them to die. Like I really enjoy them, their banter back and forth, and their thing about, trying to figure out who the killer is. Like they really make that a talking point in scenes. It's funny. It's fun to like to hear them talk it out to figure out who the suspects are. So I love those moments with them, and I look forward to continue to see them in the movies, and hopefully in the next one they are more involved. And I like that they've been with Gail, and Mindy's like, trying to steal the shine from Gail. I thought that was really funny. Um, yeah, overall I think 7 is a good one. And I'm pretty sure after I see it again, I'll feel the same way, but even more. I think that 7 would be pretty high on my list. If I did a list, which I'm not gonna do because it's so hard, but I think it would be pretty high. So maybe after I watch 7 a second time around, I'll feel a little bit more confident in making a ranking of all of them, and then I'll share it with you guys and let you guys know what I think. Um, let's see if there's anything interesting on IMDb that we could talk about. Well, I didn't even talk about the opening scene. The opening scene, so the Stumacher House experience, which is actually like a real thing. I just looked it up the other day, and you can like go on a tour. You can, I think you can even like spend the night there. And so they used that in the movie as the opening scene, which I really love. I thought that was really cool. And the kills on the opening scenes were really good as well. Um, I thought it was fun. Like I liked it. It was a little scary, just the idea of it all, and the fact that they really played on that the whole Stumacher House experience. I thought that was pretty cool for them to even add into the movie. Okay, so let's see. So this was actually the first film in the series directed by Kevin Williamson. He wrote the first one in 1996, and number 2 in 1997, and number 4 in 2011. So both Scream 2022 and Scream 5 mention Sidney Prescott has a husband named Mark, who was widely presumed to be Detective Mark Kincaid, played by Patrick Dempsey in Scream 3. Scream and Scream 5 directors Matt Bettinelli, Open, and Tyler Gillette also confirmed this was their intention in interviews. Dempsey stated in a Today interview he was in discussions to return for the 7th film and was waiting for the script. In January 2025, it was announced that Sydney's husband would be a new character, Mark Evans, played by Joel McHale. Dempsey told Variety that scheduling conflicts in the California wildfires near his Malibu home prevented him from returning. I mean, that would have been nice for Kincaid to actually be her husband, because that really nice ending in Scream 3 where he was there with Sydney, Gail, and Dewey at her house, it would have been nice for them to still be together since that movie, since that time. But I liked Joel McHale as her husband. I think he was great. He fit in. Um, I don't have any complaints about him at all. So according to Skeet Ulrich, so I did read this. According to Skeet, the idea was for Sam Carpenter, played by Melissa Barrera, the protagonist of the previous two movies, to finally embrace her inner darkness in the finale of this trilogy. Exactly that. I was hoping for exactly that. And that's sort of the idea that was pitched to me a couple years ago. The actor says that it was a 3 movie arc. With that in mind, now I never saw any of the drafts or 7 or anything that like that. And I don't know. I mean, it's possible that it didn't include any of that as well. But yeah, that was my hope, is that if it was going to mean anything, that it directly impacted the plot. None of this materialized when Spyglass Entertainment let Barrera go from production. I think that would have been pretty interesting because the last one that she was in, so Scream 5, at the very end, she's holding the mask of her father, Billy Loomis, and she's like, you see her staring at it like she's in a trance. And like all through 5 and 6, he's like talking to her. She's going to therapy. So I think it would have made sense for her to finally just embrace that inner darkness and become Ghostface. I think that would have been a pretty cool idea to explore. So it's unfortunate that that didn't happen. Um, because I think that it would have also that would have been a nice way to lead back into Sidney Prescott being the main focus, and then open the door for more movies and more options for ghost faces and motives and everything. Yeah, so after directors Matt Bettinelli opened and Tyler Gillett, who helmed Scream 2022 and 2023, chose not to return for the 7th film, Peter Williamson suggested his friend Christopher Landon as a suitable replacement. Landon had worked on Scream 1996 as an intern and was officially set to take over, but dropped out after receiving death threats over Melissa Barrera's firing, which he maintained was not his decision. Williamson himself then took over the reins. Death threats is crazy. Yeah, people really, these stands and these people, they really be upset. Like, people, I've seen people like be upset because this movie has been doing extremely well in the box office. They're mad about that. They're like, oh, y'all ain't stand on business, basically. Like, they expect people to like protest and not go see it, boycott it. Like, please. Of course people were going to go see this. Like, y'all are crazy. So the last update that I got about how the numbers, it said that Scream 7 has broken all franchise records with 97.1 plus million debut at the global box office, which is very, very good. It set records, and I feel like it's going to continue to. Um, so yeah, that's Scream 7, you guys. I really enjoyed it. I love this franchise. I watch Scream all the time. I watch. I just I put it on, let it play in the background, or I literally just watch it, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. Um, I think they said that the whole franchise has reached 1 billion, and it's like the 7th out of other horror franchises like The Conjuring. I think Saw. Um, so that just leaves room for us to continue to get more Scream movies, which I love that. And it's always just an exciting time to go see these movies and experience it, and just, figure out, or, who's Ghostface going to be, like, see what new ideas they bring to the table, what new characters are going to be in the movie. And it's always a good time. So, yeah. All right, now let's get into the actor awards. Michael B. Jordan won, and it was such a beautiful thing because you could tell, like, you could feel the love in the room for him on the screen, like through the screen. Like, he got like such a great response to him winning, and you could tell he was really emotional about it too. Like he wasn't expecting it because this is his first time winning. Like he hasn't really won that many awards. He did just win at the NAACP awards for I think Entertainer of the Year and Best Lead Actor. So he's, coming off the bat of that, winning those awards and then going to this SAG Awards, which I believe is voted by the peers. So it's just like your peers voted for you. I know that it just feels so good on a whole nother level. So it was such a beautiful thing. Viola Davis, she presented him the award, and it was just beautiful. So I'm so proud of him. And the Oscars, they come out on March 15th. And let's look at the nominations because I don't think I ever talked about it. So we have actor in a leading role. Michael B. Jordan is nominated for that. Timothy, Leo, Ethan, Wagner. So pretty much the same people that have been being nominated. Delroy Lindo, this is his first nomination. He is nominated for actor in supporting role. And then we have actress in a leading role. Actress in a leading role has been going to Jessie Buckley for every single award show, so I wouldn't be surprised if she won this one as well. And actress in a supporting role, Wunmi Masaku, she's nominated. Tiana is nominated, and Amy Madigan is nominated as well. Elle Fanning. Now who gets that? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't have any predictions, y'all. Zootopia 2 is nominated for animated feature film. Casting, Sinners is nominated for that as well. I believe Sinners set the record for having 16 nominations, which is the most for any film. So they already going in there setting records. Ruth E. Carter, she's nominated for costume design for Sinners. Ryan Coogler, directing, he got nominated for that. Film editing, Michael P. Shaver, he's the one did the film editing for Sinners, and makeup and hairstyling. Sinners is nominated for that. For music original score, Sinners is nominated for that. Original song, I Lied to You. Sinners again, best picture. Like so, I, it's gonna be. I mean, I think they're gonna take home something for sure. They're not going home empty handed. I highly, highly doubt that Sinners is going home empty handed. I would love to see, obviously, I would love Michael to win again, but I would really love to see Ryan Coogler win directing or Best Picture. Those ones right there, Best Picture especially. Yeah, I hope he gets that. Because that just would be such a beautiful moment. But either way it goes, I know Sinners is going to do well at the Oscars and take home something for sure. They are not leaving the Oscars empty handed. Okay, so I also went to go see, so I went to movies twice this past weekend. I went to go see the movie Crime 101. So this stars Halle Berry, Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keegan, I think that's his name. And then Monica Barbero, who was beautiful in this movie. Yes, obviously Halle Berry, she was beautiful too, but Monica, she was just so, what's the word? Captivating. Like she plays the love interest for Chris Hemsworth, and their scenes together were just so cute. Like I loved it. I loved that aspect of this movie. And I thought it was interesting. There's two people from Scandal. Since I told y'all I've been rewatching Scandal, there's two people from Scandal in this movie actually. I thought that was cool. Also we have Nick Nolte, he's in here. Um he's in this movie. Corey Hawkins, he plays Tillman. He was on He played Dr. Dre on Straight Outta Compton. And then Jennifer Jason Leigh, she's in the movie as well. So I thought it was good. It was directed by Bart Layden, who's also known for American Animals, The Imposter, Locked Up Abroad, The Deepest Breath, The Tinder Swindler. Um, I enjoy this movie. Like this wasn't something that I was planning on watching. Not at least not at the movie theater. But my dad, he said he wanted to watch it, and so we went together. And I thought the movie was good. It really made me interested in watching more Chris Hemsworth movies because honestly, I've only really watched him in Thor and obviously the Avengers movies, but I've only really seen him as Thor. I haven't watched any other movies that he's been in, and this made me want to because he was just so good. Like he plays like a character that's kind of timid, that's kind of, I don't know, maybe socially awkward. I don't know if it's just because I don't even know how to describe it. I feel like he's a little OCD, and then that maybe affects him in different ways than it would another person that who doesn't suffer from OCD. Um, but I liked him in this movie a lot. Like he plays this thief who is working with this man Nick Nolte. They rob uh expensive jewelry, basically. Ruffalo, he plays the detective who has noticed a pattern, and the pattern is that he only does jobs along the 101, and he doesn't hurt anybody, he doesn't kill anyone. And so he's trying to solve that case. He's trying to find this person because he feels like this is just one person doing this because he has a certain pattern, he has a certain agenda. And so he's trying to figure out, who it is. And then Halle Berry, she plays this lady she helps rich people get policies on like their expensive items. So like their jewelry or their house or different things like that. And so she's working for this company and she's like the only black woman there, pretty much like the only woman there for real. And she's supposed, because she's been at the company for 11 years, and she's just like, yeah, I'm trying to make partner. Y'all keep telling me that I'm gonna make partner, but it's always something. So we basically just see her dealing with that, and the struggle of being the only woman, being the only black woman in a company full with all these men who seemingly are playing with her, or taking advantage of her. And then they bring in this other woman who's a little younger than her, and they try to like take her business away from her to give to the other woman or whatever. And so she ends up her life ends up um, crossing paths with Chris Hemsworth character and Mark Ruffalo's character, and then they all kind of end up working together at some point in the movie. I liked it a lot. I think it was really good. My son said it was boring. I'm like, you just don't like these types of movies, which I understand, but it's not boring. I think it's good. It's one of those movies where you're not really sure what to expect. You might not really be drawn to it just by watching the trailer unless you like these types of movies. If you don't, then you might not, you might think it's boring, like my son said, but I didn't think it was. I wasn't falling asleep in that movie theater. I was watching everything. So, yeah. Um what else did I want to talk about? I have been watching Love is Blind, the new season. I do want to say shout out to this lovely black woman. Her name is Kia, and she really shocked me. She really surprised me and made me proud. And for those who don't know what Love is Blind is, it's a show where people date behind a wall. You date, you go on dates, and if you feel like you really like this person, then you propose. And you have to then, over a course of like 4 weeks or something, decide if you're going to say I do to that person. And someone that you've never seen before, you just heard their voice, you just spoke to them, and depending on how compatible y'all were through a wall, um, you decide, okay, is this the person that I'm actually going to be with after you see them? Do you feel like you're attracted to them? If you're attracted to them, your real lives mesh well together. So they have to figure those things out over a course of 4 weeks and then get down the aisle and say I do. So over the years, the seasons have gone downhill because it's just like it just seems like the people just aren't really there for the right reasons. Some people, a lot of the times, a common thing is that once a man sees someone, and even the women do this. Once they see that what the person looks like, they initially try to act like they're attracted to them, but over time, they can't pretend, and they're like, yeah, you're not my type, I'm not attracted to you, or they'll make some type of lie up. Like last year, um, this man he was an Asian man, and he wasn't the most attractive at the time. I think maybe if he had lost a little bit of weight, and maybe grew a beard, he would have been cute. He would have been handsome. But she tried to make an excuse and say, oh, yes, I just can't be here. It's just too much. It's just too much. Whole time she's like kissing on him and making him feel like she still wants to be with him. But you could tell that she just wasn't attracted to him. Like she was this really pretty blonde girl, and you could tell that he just wasn't her typical type. And instead of her being upfront about it, she just started making up excuses like being on the show was too much for her and wooty wooty boot. So you do see that happen a lot. Um, but the reason why I wanted to shout out this woman named Kia is because there was a man on the show. His name was Kevin, and he was like torn between Kia and this other woman named Tyler. And Tyler and Kia, they both had different approaches on how they communicated themselves to to Kevin. Tyler, she was a bit more aggressive, and she was a bit more like, yeah, you gonna have to, you gonna have to pick me. You gonna have to tell me you want me. We gonna have to be boyfriend and girlfriend before you propose to me. Like she was just like telling him her expectations, and rightfully so. But Kia, she was a little bit more laid back. She was just like, yeah, if it's meant to be, then we'll be, and I'm not going to worry about what other connection you have with with anybody else, and if you're meant to be my husband, then yeah. So she was just had like a very more chill, calm approach, while Tyler over there is like, she's just a little bit more aggressive about it. So one thing led to another. He did tell, he did say that he had a stronger connection with Tyler. He was pretty much saying that, but he couldn't really commit to it. And because he couldn't commit to it, Tyler dipped. She like, deuces, I'm not finna be no second option. If you can't make your mind up and be confident about choosing me, then you're not my husband. So she left. So once he figured out that she left, then he was like, oh, well, I guess me and Kia meant to be. I guess all the signs, because Tyler, she had walked out on him like twice. So he was like, yeah, I guess it's a sign that me and Kia are supposed to be together. And so him and Kia, they go on their day, and he starts saying these things to her like, you've shown me what type of wife I really want, and woot woot woot. And for a minute there, I thought Kia was going to be okay with being the second option, because really she would have been. It would have been a situation where, oh, because Tyler left, well, I'm just gonna go with Kia. But she surprised the fuck out of me, because she said Nah. She told that man, "You are not ready to be a husband, and you for damn sure aren't my husband." And I was just like, yes. I was clapping for her. I was so happy for her because she didn't accept being settled for, and she didn't want to settle for anything her damn self. It's like, dude, I already knew you was kind of swaying that way. So you think just because she left, oh, since I'm just the last option, the last resort, I'm supposed to be jumping up for joy now? Uh-uh. And it was like, you should know who you want to be with. It shouldn't have been this complicated for you. Like, you were so indecisive about who you wanted to be serious with. And then because she left, now you want to come in here and act like you was going to choose me all along. And she was like, fuck that. And I love that for her. I love that because you do see that happen quite a lot on that show where, oh, their first option doesn't work out, so then they go to their next option and it doesn't really go well because that person is always thinking, well, did you really like me or really love me to begin with? Would you have chose me if that person wasn't even in the picture? Or did you just choose me because you couldn't choose them? So um I was really, really proud of Kia. Shout out to her. I need to find her on Instagram because I'm trying to let her know, girl, you made me proud. Like, she made me so, so proud. Um, and speaking of that, it's really important to not settle, you guys. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Don't settle. Settle. I think a lot of people are only focused on the physical aspects of connections and relationships. They're only focused on the physical. They don't be really caring about the mental. They don't really care about the genuine connections that you should be trying to develop with people that you meet, especially if you feel like you like a person, you're attracted to them. It shouldn't only be about your physical attraction. We should also be concerning ourselves with how attracted are we to the people and how they think and the way they carry themselves and the way they live their life, the way that they talk or walk or make you feel. It should be about that. And I'm afraid that it's just not about that. I'm finding a lot of the times it's not about that. And you know what? If you find yourself in a predicament and someone is showing you, not only telling you, but showing you that it's only about the physical. I mean, if that's what you want, I mean, I guess some people are in that time in their life when they only really care about that and it's a mutual feeling. But if it's not a mutual thing and you want more, then make sure you go and get you some more. Not from them, because they ain't going to give it to you, because they only care about one thing. Find you someone who cares about what you care about. Find you someone, and you don't necessarily got to do the finding. Let them find you. And when you do come across someone that you like and they seem to like you, I think the most important thing is to make sure that you guys align on what y'all want to do. Like, what are we finna get out of this connection that we have here? What are we wanting out of this? It's very important to figure that out. Everything is not about just the physical. It's just not. Because once you get tired of the physical, then what? You got to have other things to fall back on, other things you that you want and crave, and you want to also be craved. You want someone to crave your attention, you want them to crave your love, you want them to crave your presence, and not just because they want to rub on your booty, but because they want to talk to you or because they want to care for you. Those are the important things, people. Okay? Let's all remember that as we maneuver this world in 2026. Do not settle. Do not be with anybody just for the sake of not being alone. Do not lose yourself in the process of trying to be with someone or make someone else happy. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you go after the things that you want in all aspects of life, whether that be your career, whether that be your love life, whatever it may be. Make sure that you are doing what you need to do to make yourself happy, to take care of you, and to make sure you're not settling for no bullshit. Okay? All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. This is the first episode of March. So let's make it a good month as much as we possibly can. Obviously, there's going to be ups and downs and things that happen that we do not have control over. But whatever you do have control over, make sure you put your best foot forward. Yeah. And I'm going to leave you with that. Okay? Whatever y'all do, just make sure that you vibe out. Until next time.